So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to send an invoice, and there are a couple of ways to send an invoice, either from the top right button here where you can click on the send invoice, or it can be sent from the next appointment screen where you can send an invoice directly from here, or you can send it directly from any client screen when you've got that client open under the invoice tab by clicking invoice here. So there are a number of different ways, but a simple way to send and start is from the plus button at the top and send an invoice. This is if you want to create an invoice to perhaps put a number of things on the invoice. If it's just a quick and easy invoice, then the best method is just to send an invoice directly for an appointment. Then you can just click the button there. Just as a reminder, to send any invoice you do need to have your Stripe account connected, and there is a separate tutorial for connecting your Stripe account to your Pocket PA account. So starting on the add new invoice, you'll start by choosing the client who you want to send the invoice to, and they will need to have an email address because all invoices are sent via email. So if you don't have an invoice, if you don't have an email address associated with this client, it will flag it up here and ask you to enter the email address at this point so the invoice can be sent. So you can choose between whether you're sending an invoice for a product or for an appointment, or you can send an invoice for both. So let's start by adding a new appointment invoice, and this will now select and show all of the appointments associated with this client in the drop down. So any appointment that this client has got where the money is outstanding will show in a list here. So we're going to send the invoice for a lash tint, and that will show that £10 is due to be paid, and that appointment was sat on 12 o'clock on Saturday. We might want to put the invoice another one, so we're going to be choosing the next one down for a cut and blow dry. You can't choose that red one because that's already been chosen on the invoice. So we've now got two appointments that are showing in the list, and they will total up showing that the total amount is for £50, but there's only £40 left to pay. So it looks like they've already paid a £10 deposit currently. So we're going to be invoicing them for £40, and you'll be able to see a preview of how that invoice is going to look, where it's got a payment made and it's showing that there's £40 outstanding, and it's against these two appointments here, and these are the dates of the appointments, and we're invoicing it today on the 2nd of February, and this is the total invoice amount being sent out to this client at this address, and there's no registered address showing on the client information, so that's why it's left empty. So effectively that's the preview of what the invoice would look like. If you want to add on a product as well, you can click on this button here, add a product, and you can add on anything else that you've got listed in your product menu. So if you want to sell them a blue t-shirt at this point in time, you can add that on to the invoice amount. If you want to just take a part payment for that, so they're just paying £5 towards that t-shirt at this point, you can just click on that and show that amount that's going to be invoiced. So the total amount will be £62, but we're just invoicing for £45 at this point. And again, you can click on here and be able to see the preview of the amount that you're invoicing here. So the t-shirt is £12, but you're just invoicing at the moment for £5. So we're just going to press that return button, and you can type into here anything that you want to show on the invoice. So something like thanks for your business, that can go into there, and you'll be able to see that on your preview here a little bit further down at the bottom on your invoice. So the invoice is actually going to be sent out by Stripe, so once it's sent out it will have a unique reference ID. So this preview is just a small overview to show you how the figures will look on it, so don't get too caught up about the layout. It's just giving you an overview of what's actually being invoiced. The last step is just to press save and send, and by clicking on that, once you've pressed the save and send, it connects directly with your Stripe account, and you'll get a success message once that invoice has been created and sent to your client. So it will then take you straight back into your invoices screen, and you can see that this has been sent on today's date. This is what's been invoiced for, this is who you've invoiced, this is the total amount that's been invoiced for, and this showing as an unpaid invoice. And once the invoice date has gone by, you can actually click to resend it at any point in time if it remains unpaid. To have a quick look at the actual invoice preview that's been sent to them by Stripe, you can effectively click on this link here and that will download into your computer. And once it's downloaded fully, you can open it up and see exactly what's been sent on the invoice. And that's just showing here for your £10, your £30 and your £5. So £45 has been invoiced to that client in your services. So once that invoice gets paid, this will switch up and show as paid, and it will get added directly to your income dial, and the Stripe transaction fee for the invoice will also get added directly to your business expenses. And then under this client, Alison Smith, you'll be able to go to the invoices tab and be able to see this invoice as well listed here and see that it's unpaid. Again, that's just showing you a download of it, and you can click to resend it at any time if that remains unpaid in her record. So that's the ways of sending the invoice. Again, I explained that you can send a quick invoice directly from here by pressing on the invoice button here and then go to the send invoice. So this one's already been paid, so you can't send out another invoice. It doesn't allow you to duplicate. So that's quite helpful. You can't double bill people on that basis. There's a safety technique built into the app for that. Okay, so that's everything about sending an invoice out.